Good morning, founders. I have 3 tips that helped me find the right business to start that worked for me, and I just want to share them with you. I have a couple ideas here on post-it notes. And so the first, definitely most important, is to curb your ego. I don't know if this is just me or if it's the human condition, but they like entrepreneurship is not about what you want, but what other people want. And so make sure that you start the business that other people are asking for, not just the idea that you have in your head. The business that I eventually started that ended up becoming successful, I actually had the idea about 2 years before I ever made it. And I remember specifically thinking, like, I don't want to be the guy who helps these people do this thing. I don't want to be that guy. I have always been really fascinated with like personal finance and, independent thinking and stuff like that. And so like I was like, I want to do that. But I never ended up doing anything with it. And then all of a sudden I kind of made this like little test run pilot idea from the previous idea that I knew would like actually help other people achieve a specific outcome of this thing. And then someone literally said I would pay for that. And that like started the whole thing. And I go, oh, duh, like business isn't about the person who starts it. It's about helping the people who need the help to achieve the thing that they want to do. And so I can't stress this enough, but just curb your ego. It's not about you, because I had a hard time, I had a hard time doing that. So that's step number 1 or tip number 1. Tip number 2, I wrote Founder Fit. And I got this idea from, I think, Dan Andrews at Tropical MBA. And this is important because I feel so lucky that the business that ended up working for me has like such a great founder fit for me. I create digital products that are evergreen, that people buy whenever they want to buy. And different business models will fit different people's personality. And if you have the type of personality where you're like going to parties and going to conferences and like, whining and dining and like socializing, like there are business models that fit that type of person's personality really well. And then on the other hand, if you kind of have the personality where you're like, I could sit at a desk in a quiet room for hours and make something or study something or write something, or if you're like, I could sit or work in a garage for like hours, you're a tinkerer, like you're kind of like an independent maker. Like there are business models that will be better for a certain type of personality to do that as well. So kind of look from within and see what is a business model that already exists that would actually be really helpful and kind of work towards your own advantage. All right, and then tip number 3 is niche selection, and I can't stress how important this is enough. Another, idea that I got from this guy named Ian Schoen, he a long time ago said, there's this fictitious guy, let's call him like Bill, and Bill works a 9-to-5 job that he doesn't any longer want to work, or he would love to not have to go into that office from 9 to 5 any longer. And so what he does on Saturday, let's just say he lives in like Colorado, he loves to go hiking on his Saturday. It's like fulfilling and it's full of like, re-energizing for him to just sort of like take a long day and walk. And he kind of has this idea like, man, I would just love to do this every day. And so what is this guy, I think I call him Bill. What does Bill do? He quits his full-time job and he offers, let's call it like Bill's hiking tour. But the thing he never asked was like, does he like to pay to go hike? And the answer is no. which of course you want to pick a business that people have no problem paying. They just want to solve that problem. And the other thing is, let's just say Bill is like a nature expert. So then it's actually like really interesting. Like I personally would pay, for someone to teach me about like the plants and the nature and the trees and everything. Like that's really interesting. So let's just say Bill is a nature expert at this kind of location. And actually people also agree and they say, wow, I would love for this expert to kind of teach me about this local area. Well, now people are signing up. And whereas before on Bill's Saturday, he might have gotten to the little hiking spot at 7 a.m. He may have gotten there at 10 a.m. But now he has to be there at a certain time, at a certain place again. And he goes through the same hiking routine Monday through Friday. And he gave himself this job that, you hear this all the time on the internet, turn your passion into profit. And it's not that I don't believe in that. It's just be careful of doing that, because now Bill's Saturday, he no longer wants to do the thing that he loves because he just did it Monday through Friday. And so I love the idea of picking something that other people want that's not exactly what you love to do. It just helps a certain group of people achieve a certain outcome using sort of your own creative solution, but it doesn't like wreck your own, interests and passions and projects and stuff like that. So niche selection is an interesting one because I think it's one of the first steps that you need to do in order to start a business. And I think that people make it more complex than it already has to be. And, I think in a video I made yesterday or something, I kind of briefly talked about this, but I honestly think like the best beginner's business model is where you take your own job or your profession or your career, and then you just lean into that and you help people who have that same profession or who want to have that same profession, achieve their desired outcome, whether that's to get the job or to become better at the job so that they make more at the job. And we already know that there's demand because you yourself applied to it. At one point in time, you also wanted that job. And if you could kind of think back before you got the job, if someone were to help you get that job, you would also probably pay someone to help you get that job, faster or at a better organization, because you are going to make money at the end of it, which is, what you make in a salary position. And so, niche selection is important. And when you are picking your niche, just think about your own past experiences, and then weave in like your taste and then your knowledge and your skill set and, just help people save time and make money in that career that you already have, because it's, true to you. You actually have the experience working in it. And even if you only have, for example, 1 year of experience, if this is like your first year as like a business analyst or something, well, that's more than the person who hasn't gotten it yet. And so you can help, you might not be able to help senior business analysts, but you might be able to help people get a business analyst job. And then you just stair-step your way up from there. So those are the 3 tips that I would share to anyone who has a 9-to-5, but you would love to kind of replace that 9-to-5 with an online business. So just to recap, the first is to curb your own ego. It's not about you, it's about helping the other people. Second is to choose a business model that has a good founder fit for your own personality. And 3 is to choose a niche, not that is based on your passion, but is probably based on your profession. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.